Oh, turn a little bit that way. Trying to find my headset. I talked about my headset. Sure, the cords aren't that convenient, but they're easier to find than the little earbuds that are running around. The ear pods. Sneaky little things that Apple sells us to make their stock go higher. Make us think we need it. We gotta have it. What are we gonna do? We don't have the cordless earphones. That'll be $250. Thank you very much. Cha-ching. I had a pair. It was given to me by a mortgage broker for some gift or something. I was a realtor, so I sent him business. And it was a marketing thing for them. I mean, they were nice. I just really didn't like how they ran out of... you had to charge them. Plus, you could lose them. I think once I actually had one drop in the toilet. I don't know. Somebody wants to buy me some, I might try them again. If Apple's watching, I posted a video about my MacBook Air yesterday. Maybe Apple saw it somewhere. Maybe if they're so thankful that I gave them their desperately needed free marketing, and they want to send me a pair of earbuds for free, I'd take them. I'd try them again. There was some convenience to them, but I just can't see with the price. I don't know. Again, I lost them. I lost one or something. When you lose one, you might as well lose both. I've lost the case. They need charged. There's various issues. But the biggest issue is probably the $250 versus the $20 for these bad boys. But anyway. Hello, Timothy. Hello, Bruno. Hello, Nay. Hello, user. Talk. Joshua. Buffalo Wings. Annie. Garp. User. Fish. David. Alex. Sassy. Sanchez. Will Belchill is in the house. Tony. Julie Flanagan. I don't understand that. WLR. Carmen Pacheco. Good morning, Julie. David. Do I have any good coffee shop recommendations in Chicago? You mean actual Chicago itself or the Chicago area? The neatest coffee shop that jumps out to me, and I forget the name, but it's in downtown Oswego. And downtown Oswego is kind of a smallish town in the far western suburbs. It's where my two older daughters live with their mom. And they kind of got a cute little old-fashioned downtown. I forget the name of the coffee shop, but it was really, really neat. It was really, really neat. Chicago area. Well, Google coffee shops in Oswego, and it'll show up. And it's really cool, and it's got a bunch of different rooms. I haven't been there in probably 2 years, but it's got a bunch of different rooms with kind of old antique-y little conversation areas, little spots where you and a friend or you and a date or whatever can go and sit, or you can go and read a book in quiet, and then you'll walk through and there'll be a couple little spots set up. It's just really neat. It'd be something like I don't know, the guys, if you've seen the show American Pickers, where they look for old antique things, and I'm not even into antique things that much. But it was really neat and a cool scene and a cool place to spend a couple hours. I don't think they had Wi-Fi, which is interesting, but maybe part of their charm at the same time. So, yeah, and I forgot the name of it. The owner, I think, follows me. I used to do my show, which I haven't even gotten into the intro yet, and I used to go live in a bunch of... or not live, I used to shoot a video in a bunch of coffee shops around the area because it's Coffee with Ken. I thought that's what the audience would want, and maybe it's what the audience did want, but it didn't really stir my pot. I think my show's maybe not that. I get a lot of suggestions for my show, and I don't listen to most of them. Kind of do the show as I need it or as I want it. Maybe I'm selfish with my show. It's got my name on it. It's got my name on it. You know what I mean? But anyway, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Friday morning. Good morning, Chip. It is Friday morning. It is September 27th. Only a few more days in the month. You guys ready for October? For Halloween? For costumes, trick-or-treating, pumpkin pie, Thanksgiving, Christmas? Get ready, because it's coming. But anyway, it's 6:13 a.m. Happy Friday. This is a little show that I have been doing for quite some time. It is a show about me. Chip Bott says he lives in the capital of Halloween. Oh, does he live in Massachusetts? Does he live in Massachusetts? He might. He might live in Massachusetts. Robin says the hurricane is almost past her in Georgia this morning. It's weird how big a hurricane is. Its effects can, saw it was going up in Florida. I think I saw somebody in North Carolina post something about it. Yeah. But Silly Billy says, are his questions not coming through? I don't know, Silly Billy. I don't answer every question. I don't. But anyway, this isn't a show, it's a show I've done for a long, long time. And it's a show about me talking and sharing some things. But for those that have been watching a while, it's not just a show about me talking. It's a show about starting my day, turning the page. Good morning, mowing God. And facing the new day that today is with a fresh attitude, I guess. Or a recycled attitude. Even sometimes a bad attitude. But hopefully we turn that into a good attitude by the end of the show. But anyway, it's a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I have this nice hot cup of coffee. And I am excited to have my first sip. My hope is wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you have a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. Had to think what it was for a minute. As it was coming to my mouth, I'm going, what did I make? What coffee is this? It's is it the smoked butterscotch? Should I go get the bag? I better know. Hold on. Yeah. It is the Starbucks smoked butterscotch. Picked up a couple bags of coffee yesterday. Went grocery shopping yesterday afternoon. Bought a whole big bag of peaches. And a couple bags of coffee. Went by my old Super Target, where I've worked for 7 months last year, and saw Three or four of the employees that I used to work with honestly was surprised they remembered my name. I wasn't wearing my red shirt or my red outfit or my vest or cutting open boxes in the cereal aisle. I joked with one how good the cereal aisle still looked. But it was kind of nice. It's kind of nice. So anyway, it's a smoked butterscotch, and I'm going to have another sip right now. Oh, it's kind of tough waking this morning. Do I miss Target? No. No, I mean, there were good things about it. There were some nice people. I felt the work setting was, for me, kind of a lonely feeling. Kind of a lonely feeling. I didn't like, I liked the job. I liked having something to do. I liked knowing what I was going to do. But it was almost, we were all doing our own thing a little bit. Sometimes we'd get together and do a little group project or have a group meeting. But for me, I like working with people. I like talking to people. And yeah, I talked to the people that came through the aisle. But we were all kind of like doing our own thing so independently. I found it kind of lonely. I found it kind of, lonely a little bit. I mean, I enjoyed aspects of it. But sometimes it felt like if I was working there, nobody even knew if I was there or not. I think you could hide in the back corner and go to sleep for 2 hours and maybe not be missed. You take your lunch break or take your coffee breaks or, do your thing so independently that, yeah. But it was nice going back and seeing some smiling faces. There were some really nice people that worked there. Some really nice people. But for me, I don't think the work I know the pay wasn't right. I know the pay wasn't going to do it. But I don't think even that aside, the work environment was a good one for me. I'm really sensitive when it comes to a lot of things. My environment, the people I work with. I once worked at a bank, and I was what did they called us a team leader, which I think I would have liked that role. But we're more financial sales guy. And that was a hard setting for me. And that was a low time in my life, I'll tell you. I was married, and I was trying to, succeed in the financial business for the second time in my life. I'd done fairly well in the 90s, but this was mid-2000s. I came back to it at a Chase Bank in Lamont, Illinois. And I thought, hey, people do have financial needs. Maybe I can match them. And but it wasn't like that for me. I felt very alone in that as well. So it's not a good way to feel. I think I struggled with aloneness. Even when I was in a crowd, I felt alone most of my life. Somebody commented on one of my videos, and it was a sobriety video that I did yesterday. And it was a sobriety video I did yesterday. Hold on one second here. Let me take care of something. There we go. I had to silence somebody a little bit. I appreciate interaction. I really do. And I want to make this a social platform. But I also don't want it to be dominated by one person's machine gun questions at me. And there was somebody on there that had asked like 20 questions in the first, and I'm trying to say something and it kind of gets distracted. And I'm not sure if they were here for good purposes or not. Yeah. But anyway, they'll be quiet going forward, I promise you. What was I saying? What was I saying? Oh, I had somebody reach out to me yesterday, and it was on a sobriety video I did, and they asked, uh, was I happy now? Because they um, couldn't find happiness without drinking, or drank to so they could stop pretending that they were happy or something like that. And I mean, I felt bad for the guy, but I kind of understood it at the same time. I kind of understood it at the same time. Because there was long periods of my life where I could only find happiness in a group with a bottle of beer in my hand. And I think, and I wrote a couple notes down, um, I said, yeah, and I said, I'm sorry that you're hurting. I think realizing that life isn't easy was eye-opening for me. And realizing that life's not supposed to be easy, and that we're going to get challenges, and we're going to have tough times and get knocked down and feel bummed and whatever. But learning to be okay with that has brought me incredible peace. Because now I kind of expect challenges or issues or bills or nasty comments or tough days at work or issues in a relationship or whatever. And I kind of roll with it. And I roll with it in a lot better way than I used to. And I think accepting that life isn't easy and life is going to have challenges, and kind of almost embracing those challenges is part of the whole package. For me, it has been almost the key to happiness. And I think back to a quote, and I've said it before, that I heard right before I headed off to Yellowstone. Uh, right before I headed off to Yellowstone. Learning to walk in joy despite your circumstances. And that's what I'm doing. And I think what this show is about. And what have you. I'm enjoying my coffee. Almost missed that person who was asking all the questions. If he could have cut his questions down dropped about 80% of them, would have filled the void in my show. What could be the void in my show? What age did I realize I had a problem? I always struggled with things. I always had an active mind, and I don't know if I have a problem. We might all have problems. I don't know what you have going on in your head, but I bet you I know we all have issues. Heck, I mean, I'm watching a show. I was watching Sports Center. They do these shows called 30 for 30. And I don't know if you guys remember the pitcher, Fernando Valenzuela. The 30 for 30 I was watching was about him. He had great top of the world type success. But there were also hard parts to his story. And downtimes. And the guy had all the money and all the fame in the world. And revitalized the Los Angeles Dodgers in the early 80s and was a star pitcher from Mexico with a certain charm about him. But he still, he had his stuff. But I think I think learning to be at peace with your stuff. I watched another one about two pitchers from Cuba. One, the Hernandez brothers, Levon Hernandez and El Duque. I don't know if anyone's from Florida or New York, but they were pitchers in the probably 90s and early 2000s mostly. And they were pitchers on World Series winning teams. But they had their stuff. They had their stuff. I think the deal is most people don't talk about their stuff. And they bury it. And they let it out a little bit. And you go in and you ask somebody how they're doing. And they say they're either tired or busy or okay. So they go through with life. And I mean, it's their choice, so anyone can do what they want. Learning to just kind of be, to let it out a little bit and not have a big happy smile. But I'll bet most people that have the big, I'm thinking of one woman that works at a coffee shop near me, and she's got a huge smile and a huge amount of energy. And I don't really know her very well, but I bet she has moments of hurt as well. I bet she lets them out to the right people or people she's close with. Somehow. And I don't know if it's prudent. I just kind of let mine out all the time. Maybe it's not healthy, but feels good to me. Sky Reese, thank you so much for following the Live Creator. I really do appreciate that. I really enjoy building these platforms. I'll tell you, I'm going to get a little more coffee. I'll be right back. Oh. Back to that guy asking me the "Are you happy?" question. I'm very happy, and things are so far from perfect. I think I've let the expectation go of perfection. And I feel I'm not where I want to be living right now, and I'm probably not doing a job I'm going to be doing very long term. But I'm thankful for where I'm living, and I'm thankful for the job I have. And I realized how blessed I am, despite my struggles. And I don't know how I'm doing it, or why I'm doing it, or why this is happening. Because I used to have these struggles or these challenges that everybody has. And I would fester in them all day. And I was miserable, and I was cruel to myself, and I'd have a negative self-voice, and I'd drown my sorrows with alcohol. And that was how I got through. That was how I got through. And that's not a good way to get through. That's not a good way to get through at all. That's barely eking out. One step above tragedy. And I've been able, through my show and through it, finding inspiration in weird spots, unexpected spots, really hard spots, instead of letting it drive me down, it's somehow, some way brought the best of me out. And I got small bad news at something yesterday. It doesn't really matter because the details aren't that important. But I almost kind of laughed about it. And the woman that was talking to me was I think, somewhat inspired by my positive attitude, or she thought I was crazy. But I was almost expecting, anticipating, not worried about it, giving my problems to God, whatever you want to say, and able to roll with it in ways that I never could have imagined. Because I'd let some bad news stop me and not accept it, but hide from it. And Ohio Lindsay, welcome. Welcome back. Finally caught you live. It's been so long. Good to see you, Ohio Lindsay. Mississippi Mama Bear asked, new room or new angle? Just a different angle. I probably used this angle before. Cut my feet up on my bed. You can see the light, the light coming to the sky in the window behind me. It's kind of new angle a little bit. Do I write show notes before this show? Rarely. I did write 2 things that were on my mind. I got one more, actually. Here, I'll share you my notes. This first one says script. I need to order a prescription today. That's my to-do list. I'm really giving you the back of the scene. The second thing says singing, and I'll tell you that in a bit. This says expecting life to be easy. Because, again, I'm on some groups on Facebook where people are hating their lives. People are hating their lives and are really bummed out. And I want to reach out to them because I was there and I understand those feelings. I think some people don't get it. Don't get how somebody could be so bummed or would be so down or feel so low. I understand because I've been there, but I also understand the way out. And the third one is the guy asking me if I'm happy. Singing was the first note I wrote. I find myself singing a lot lately. And that's got to be a good thing. I had people when I was working out in Yellowstone kind of teasing me because I'd be going through my day going da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. But if I hear a song I like, I used to think I had a horrible singing voice. I may still have a horrible singing voice. But I'm not really concerned. And I'm not worried about it or ashamed of my voice. And I think, and this is going to sound crazy, it is possible. I'm not saying it's for sure. I might actually have a very good singing voice. But I was so ashamed of it, of my perception of it, to ever let it out and be, and this is going to sound funny, the beautiful thing that it may or may not be. Because I was probably in my voice saying, oh, your voice sucks. So I'd go, yeah. But I find myself singing at church, singing at work, singing when I hear a song, singing at the gym. And I realize it might be, I mean, probably not everyone loves it, but I don't try and I'm not trying to be obnoxious. I'm trying to be cool about it. But at the same time, be who I am. Which is this guy sitting in front of you, who's about to take a drink out of his Gatorade bottle. Singing brings us joy. Clinically, they say it produces dopamine in the brain. You do you. Way to go, Ohio Lindsay. I missed you. Such intelligent responses and informative. Good morning, Juliana. You're singing for yourself, so it's all good. Let's hear a voice. I don't think so, Neon Dan. Hello, Christine. How are you? I mean, even that. What is singing? Singing is kind of talking with a little more vigor. Oh, again, for anybody just hopping on, it's a smoked butterscotch. Singing is close to godliness. Could be. Well, Christine, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, no, Mississippi Mama Bear, I must be moving in. It's like a connection. It's like praying, maybe. It's opening up your heart when you're singing in ways you wouldn't. And maybe prayer is doing the same thing for most of us. And maybe most of us are uncomfortable letting out our feelings and being who we are. And maybe that's why this show's good for me. It gives me an opportunity just to kind of open up and talk and be who I am and not worry about too much stuff. Still worry about a little. Still worried about a few things this morning. And I only say this to let you know, just because you feel you've maybe cracked the code doesn't mean all your issues are gone. And all your anxieties are gone. You just catch them and you go, hey, I woke up with anxious feelings. I think that's step one, acknowledging them. And then saying, well, it's okay that I woke up with anxious feelings. I got a lot going on. That's step two, accepting what's going on. And then falling back on either prayer or gratitude or physical activity or getting out of bed or taking that next step would be step three. And that gets your day started. Suddenly I'm turning my phone around, hopping on my social media platform, typing in what day it is, and getting my coffee started and pushing live. And I don't know. I know yesterday morning I woke up with a bunch of anxiety and everything I had to do seemed so insurmountable. And I got it all done. I made not every appointment along the way went perfectly. But it wasn't about my anxiety was coming from, oh my, I have to do this, and then I got to do this, and then I got to go do this, and then I got to go do this. And once I got on the bike and started riding, it just kind of went dink, 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 dink. And, yeah. Not original. Have I ever thought about writing a biography? Kind of a precursor to this show was me writing. And I realized writing was good for me. And I could write in a way that could touch people's emotions. And every morning, before I did this show, I would wake up and I'd open up my computer and I'd type for 30 minutes or so and edit those words. And it was kind of a free flow, kind of a lot like this is, but in writing. And I'd make it a little prettier because you have time to go back and edit. And I'd always manage to go, hey, I'm feeling down, or hey, this is hurting, but hey, I've realized this, and hey, I'm thankful for this, and I'm lucky to have this day, and I'm ready for the day. And that was kind of the way I would write. And I stopped doing it, and I guess I started doing these videos instead. Sometimes I miss it, but I feel I can get more out in a shorter period of time by talking. Ohio Lindsay said, it's hard to be an observer of your thoughts and feelings, but it's a valuable skill to develop. Yeah. I think you're touching on it, Ohio Lindsay, and I'll see it on various therapy things. We are not our thoughts. And we're not. I used to think I was. I used to think If I had an angry thought, I was an angry person. Or if I had a sad thought, I was a sad person. Or, the few times I could find a happy thought, I was a happy person. And now I can see the thoughts bouncing around. And again, it happened 5 years ago, right at the beginning of the show. Right at the beginning of this show, when I caught the negative words I had and the negative talk inside my head, I go, hey, that's not good. We got to fix this. So now I drink coffee and I talk on a live show every morning. Yesterday I did 2 live shows. I've been bouncing back from here on TikTok to another social media platform. Don't know if I want to do that every day, but it kind of was fun to do yesterday, touch a different audience. But I was talking live for about an hour and a half. But maybe that's okay. Maybe that's okay. Oh, 6:45. I get to work today. Believe me, that's a learned skill to do. I would encourage you to practice it as well. Probably each one of you is out there thinking what you gotta do today. Change the gotta, remove the O and put it in an E and say you get to do it, and it feels so much better. Even if you don't even really, it makes you laugh. I get to go to work today. I get to do the opening shift. I get to start at 10:45, and I get to work all day. And honestly, I could easily look at that as woe is me. My feet are going to be tired. I'm working as a waiter. I'm having all sorts of different customers. I slipped on the floor, and you can think of all the things that are hard about it or challenging about it or what have you. But you can also think about all the good stuff that comes with it, the laughs I'll have with my customers, the money I desperately need and will be making, the productivity I'll feel, the high-fiving my fellow workers, or all the good stuff that can come. The beautiful day it's going to be, the ride to work. We have good and bad out there every day, and what we focus on expands. And if we think of our blessings, we'll have more blessings, and we think of our struggles, we'll have more struggles. And but it's Friday morning. Ohio Lindsay. I was almost ready to sign off, Ohio Lindsay. Says one of her favorite professions was food service, exposure to a variety of people. Yeah, I really enjoy it. Would I do it for free? I don't think so. But I would do a lot of aspects of my job for free. I enjoy making people smile. I enjoy clearing plates a little bit. I don't want to do it full time, clear plates, but if I'm at a friend's house and there's dirty plates on the table after everyone's done, I want to pick those darn plates up. It makes me feel productive and it makes the table look better. So I feel good doing it. And I feel good doing so many aspects of my job as a waiter. And they pay me for it. It's kind of cool. I value feeling productive. And when I'm waiting tables, I feel productive. So I always like cleaning or mowing the lawn or doing dishes, or I feel I'm kind of moving forward. And there's times to be okay and not worry about moving forward. But, I'm 56. If God willing, I only got 30 more years on this planet. I want to maximize them. Time goes quickly. I want to see what I can do, and I think I can do a lot. I think God gave me a lot of blessings, gave me some challenges as well. wouldn't be fair if I didn't have the challenges. If I was just a 6'2" dude, fairly intelligent with a gift of storytelling, life would be too easy. So he gave me some challenges to keep me working on myself. And until I recognized those challenges as opportunities to work on myself, they felt like huge bags of cement holding me down. So now when I get bad news, or I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying I got a perfect system. Sometimes I'll get a bad news and I'll go, oh crap. I might even use a harsher word than crap. But I don't know. I've learned the power of my thoughts and the way my mind's moving. And I've learned to go, okay, you can wallow in oh crap feelings for a little bit. You need to get it out and accept it and be okay, and that news on the face of it wasn't positive. But I'll bet you put you get refocused or inspired by that little bit of bad news, you can turn it around and something good's going to come out of it. You don't even know what. But I've seen it happen time and time again. And I've certainly lived in fancier homes, had fancy cars, had more high-paying jobs, had been in relationships with beautiful women, but none of those soothed the voice inside of my head. And if you don't have that, if you're not aware or in control of your thoughts or able to recognize that your thoughts aren't who you are and they're just where you are at that specific moment, I don't know. I think life's going to be tough. So, drink a little more coffee. It's Friday morning. I am excited about my day. Going to do something for the next 3 hours or so. And I'm going to get off to work and say hello to everybody and get my restaurant ready for work and be excited when the first customer comes in and have a great attitude or the best attitude I can and hopefully make their dining experience as positive as possible and hopefully have a very productive day, probably work like 11 hours, probably be very lucrative but very tiring, and be so grateful when I make it back tonight and take off my shoes and my uniform and put my feet up and lay my head down on the pillow. So, yeah, I want to thank you so much for joining this morning. If you're new to my show, please follow my page. I have a lot of fun. I go live every morning on various social media platforms. Talk about various stuff, but I don't know. I certainly have some recurring themes. Hang around. You'll touch on them all. But I appreciate you. I want to thank you for joining. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope you are feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.